know, you have a great idea. I'm here on the Princeton University campus today for what will very shortly become the 5th annual Ivy Sports Symposium. Had its genesis 5 years ago by an undergrad named Chris Cheney. He had to come up with a senior thesis. His thesis idea was to create Princeton's first ever sports symposium, which he managed to do. He invited top executives from the business of sports to come here on campus and to discuss in roundtable type arenas current as well as future trends in sports. Chris Cheney's idea has actually 5 years later now evolved and transformed itself into what's now known as the Ivy Sports Symposium. It's now taking up all the Ivy League institutions. Now, let me give you a few other ideas in case you don't have an Ivy League background of your own. Just a few days ago, I met up with an older gentleman who's credited with the entire success of the happy face. Remember the smiley face in yellow? How could you ever forget it? Let me tell you the genesis of that great idea. Back in the 1960s, this particular gentleman was manufacturing buttons. And for those of you old enough to remember this, the 1960s was an era of protest. People couldn't protest enough. They were protesting the war, they were protesting the establishment. But what happened is that there was a change in the White House. There was also a change in the overall climate of people's mentalities. And this man realized, hey, unless I come up with another idea, my button business might be overdone and finished. So he said to one of his employees, wait a minute, didn't we have something we were doing for a company, an internal idea, a few years ago when there was this little smiley face? He said, pull that thing out, let's see what I could do with it. The rest of it is history. That same man retired at age 27, all because his great idea was to pull out a happy face from one of his client companies and turn it into a big idea. Now, let me give you a third thing about a big idea. I am actually here today because I'm married to a man who spent 20 years in the computer repping industry, had a very nice business, but decided it just wasn't doing it for him anymore, and he was really losing his sense of purpose in spite of the fact that it was a successful business. He also was a man who spent 30 years with a propensity of never opening up his mouth. He decided he wanted to create his own alter ego. His alter ego became the great idea known as Michael Anthony Raffone, otherwise known as a 12-inch tall animated microphone who lampoons sports. That's what brought us here today. Now, I just gave you 3 entirely different ideas with people of different ages. I want to encourage you today to know that there is a great idea hiding in your heart. May you have fun thinking about exactly what that idea is. This has been Maura with Maura4u. Take care. Bye-bye.